The greatest day in the world is the day that the butterflies of the world stop conforming to keeping the caterpillars of the world happy. I'll never forget in about 2005 when I had a bunch of anxiety when I was a stand up comedian. I had so much fear in my body, and I had a Comedy Central special on the way. And I had no idea what to do about the fact that I was exhausted from touring and I was worried that I would pass out. And so I decided to go to a hospital to get anxiety medication. I sat in the hospital waiting room for 45 minutes and I realized no one was coming. And I heard a voice say, "Get up." This was the first moment that I heard this voice, but a voice said, "Get up and get out of here." Thank God the hospital took too long because I went out and then the voice said, "Go to a bookstore." I found a Tony Robbins book, Awaken the Giant Within, and all of my life started shifting. Things shifted from just thinking I'm just a person that's here to just achieve whatever to there's so much more that I am. For 4 years, I really thrived as a stand up comic, and I used different techniques and self help to have number one specials and to, really succeed and pull off standing ovations and everything else. At one point, there was a calling in me that said, "You're even more than this career. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you need to follow this voice." So I did. At the height of my comedy career, I let go of stand up comedy. And that was the second moment of my life where everything shifted even more. From 2010 to 2020, I created Evolving Out Loud, and we did huge events where we help people learn that they can follow their heart, that they move in a way that instead of motivation and pushing, you can just let go of what's heavy and you can move to a higher and higher frequency. This was really exciting. These events were always packed and sold out, and people shifted dramatically. And I, in about February 2020, was on ayahuasca, and I told the ayahuasca, "Merge me with my soul no matter what the cost." And boy, did it. I went through a releasing of a lot of different people in my life. When these people left my life, I kept trying to keep them here. And later I started realizing they were supposed to leave my life for a reason. I'm supposed to tap into more and more of what I truly am. And the more I went inward and stopped trying to be more successful externally and started listening more and more to what I truly am, the success not only went up, but my connection to myself and bizarre synchronicities and miracles started happening all over the place. And that was the third moment of my life when I said, "Merge me with my soul no matter what the cost." And more as I do this work, I realize there are magical abilities that I have and so many other people have. And our Achilles heel, our weakness, is when we try to convince other people that they have it. I've had so many friends in my life that were spiritual or magical, artists, musicians, all kinds of different things. And the amount of those people that could have stepped into something more, but instead either got in a mediocre relationship, just took a mediocre job, just stayed in a mediocre place or watched the news all day was astounding. And I watched as intense, magical people started shutting off their voices. And what I started realizing is those people often get sick much more than the people that don't know they have that magical ability. The people that have an awareness that there's more and then they settle usually get ill, more anxiety, more fear faster because they're magic and they can't help it. They're a butterfly and they're scared to let go of the caterpillar energy of the world. I've seen it make people sick. I believe it's killed people that I know when they stay in something mediocre. There's nothing worse than the magical people doing what they can to avoid their gift. Imagine if Shakespeare, before he started writing what he wrote, was in a mediocre relationship or had a mediocre job and was like, "Yeah, I'd love to write these plays and these books, but, I got to keep ends meeting and I got to, my wife won't like it." We wouldn't have Romeo and Juliet. We wouldn't have Hamlet. Well, I have the curse slash blessing of seeing everyone having that level of potential. And there's some people who are wide open to it, and there are some people who do not want to hear it. The ones that don't want to hear it, I'm not here for. I'm here for the ones that really are curious and ask questions more like, "Why am I here? What is this?" There is a deep calling in those people that they cannot help is there. And that's what I call the butterflies of the world. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why I created the big one. The big one is an event that we're doing for 4 days in Glendale, California. And to me, the greatest tragedy in the world is when the butterflies of the world tolerate mediocrity and slowly cut their wings off. It's the saddest thing in the world. And if you want to see real change on the planet, it's up to us to tap into the truth of what we are. It's up to us to stop saying, well, I've been in this relationship this long, so I got to keep staying in it, and forget the real problem is that you don't understand what you're missing out on. I'll never forget when my buddy Diego said to me, you know, the reason people stress when they're letting go of something is because their mind can only measure what they will lose and they can't see what they'll gain. And I'm here to remind you of that. The reason you're not stepping into your magic is you haven't had the ghost of Christmas future show you the life you're missing out on by staying in mediocrity and saying, just keeping financial ends meeting is bigger than your soul. Not upsetting this person is bigger than your soul. That addictive habit, scrolling through social media, drinking, overeating is bigger than your soul. The reason you might feel that way is because you might not have met your soul. So the big one is an event where you can immerse yourself for 4 days or 5 days if you go VIP in the infinite content and the possibilities of what you are. And once you see a whole new level of magic at this event, by immersing yourself with other butterflies, by immersing yourself with content, by doing different exercises and meditations and saying yes to real magic, once you immerse yourself in that, you will not be able ever to unsee it. The price for this event is so cheap. It's $349 for a 4-day event. And if you get the Absolutely Everything Pass, which is $39, you could have a month of content and then have a $70 discount for the big one event. This is an opportunity for you to have one of those moments where you change your reality and you move from the linear line or the addictive line or the hope line into the immersion of what you truly are. It is a travesty when we do not step into the meeting of our soul so we can keep mediocre experiences going forever. There's a reason those mediocre experiences are falling apart more and more in this time. That's because the time is shifting us from the bullshit laws of the egoic circumstances into the true laws of the universe and your soul and the magic. If you want to stop feeling that mediocrity, if you want to stop tolerating really nothing and just barely making it through, and you want to really step into something and meet yourself, join us at the big one. It is going to be an immersive, life-changing event that you will not be able to unsee. And when you go back home after that event, you are going to make different decisions, and this event will pay for itself over and over and over again. Remember, if you're scared of something, it's because your mind can measure what you will lose, but it can't see what you will gain. And you could gain a whole new life, a whole new abundance, a whole new world, a whole new joy, a whole new freedom, a whole new release of anxiety and addictions and all kinds of other stuff, and an access to the true power of what you are. That's why I'm on this planet right now, to meet me and offer that only to the people that are interested in it too. I'm not here to convince anyone who's not interested. They're not my audience, and I'm not here for them. I'm here for the ones that feel tethered to those people and would like permission to get the hell out of it and find the truth of what they are. Let's go. I'll see you at the big one in June.